According to the First Amendment of the United States Constitution, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the right for people to peaceably assemble. People all across the United States are constantly being harassed for their religious practices. Children in public schools in particular have often been a target of these attacks. Today I would like to discuss why this is a problem and what we can do to relieve the stress on this problem. On January 16th of 2020, President Donald Trump invited a group of students and teachers to the Oval Office to celebrate National Religious Freedom Day. According to an article published in January by Franco Ordonez on NPR's website, the group included a young William McLeod, a 9-year-old Utah boy who was forced to remove the cross of ashes on Ash Wednesday from his forehead. Young McLeod is just one example of people all across the United States who are harassed for their religious practices. Some people are called out for their prayer, some people are called out for reading the Bible, some people are told you can't do that just because they're doing it in a public setting. An undated article on ADL's website wrote, "Organized prayer is unconstitutional. In order for it to be constitutionally permissible, it must be private and voluntary prayer, nothing public." It's this claim about nothing being public that causes problems. Some people say you just can't do it around other people. Other people say it's okay to do it around other people as long as you're doing it by yourself. That's where schools tend to argue over whether it's right or wrong to allow people to perform prayer or other religious practices in the school system. Another article on allabouthistory.org talks about the pros and cons of allowing prayer in public schools. Benefits of allowing prayer would include combating issues such as school shootings, drug use, teen pregnancy, alcoholism, and HIV transmission. Because prayer and Bible reading is usually a positive thing, the teachings in the Bible or about prayer are usually positive guidelines. Allowing these things in the public school system might combat some of these issues just because somebody's there saying, hey, this is wrong, let's do something else about it. Now I would like to discuss some possible solutions to this problem. One possible solution to this problem is to provide a time and place for students to peaceably go to pray, read their Bible, do whatever, so that they don't disturb the people who don't agree with these religious beliefs, but they also are allowed to do it without being disturbed by other people. According to an article on the U.S. Department of Education's website that was updated in January, students may pray during free time, but are subject to the same rules to prevent disruption applied to other people doing private activities. Students may read scriptures, say grace before meals, and pray or study religious materials together during recess, lunch, or other non-instructional times, just like other non-religious groups. Schools may impose rules of order, but may not discriminate against religious believers. Another obvious solution is to just if parents have a problem with their child interacting with somebody during their religious practices, they can just tell their child to avoid that person. It's not hard for a parent to say to their child, look, we don't agree with this practice, so I want you to stay away from this kid while they're doing this practice. Next, I would like to show you some of the ways that people are already working to try to make prayer in schools more normal. The Trump administration has already been working on making major strides towards public prayer becoming a more acceptable practice. According to a January Washington Post story, Education Secretary Betsy DeVos shared department plans to remind schools of a constitutional right. Religious groups should get the same access to public facilities secular groups do. These guidelines are updates to some of the guidelines put in place in 2003 by the Bush administration. These guidelines will require schools to certify that they don't have regulations conflicting with the rights of their students, and they are to notify the Education Department of any complaints against religious practices in their schools. Finally, I would like to discuss with you some ways that you can combat these issues personally. Really, our easiest way to combat these issues is to take it on a personal level instead of going to the higher-ups immediately. Personal tolerance means not complaining when somebody is doing their religious practices or not taking offense to these practices. And if you are truly offended, you should go to that person at a personal level and say, hey, this is offensive to me. Can we work something out so that it doesn't offend me? Or, just turning your back and walking away, because tolerance is a personal thing. And if anybody, especially people who have religious beliefs, if somebody has a problem with them, they would like for you to come to them. Don't immediately go up to the higher authority. That often causes more problems than keeping it on a personal level. And also, if you see your friend or your classmate being picked on or bullied because of their religious practices, you can stand up for them against said bully. Too many people who have religious practices that they perform in public at all have people who are picking on them from above and don't have anybody to stand by their side to help them. So what you can do is you can approach the bully and say, hey, that's not nice, can we talk this out? Today I have shared with you why religion in public schools has been such a huge problem, as well as some solutions to the problem and what we can do on a personal level to help. I hope you'll take what I said to heart. Or at the very least, I hope that I informed you a little bit more about this problem.